Oh, hello everybody. Welcome to the sound test room. Okay, today we're taking a look at syncing all this stuff up in AUM. So if you've got some hardware, you can use it with the iPad apps as well. So let me quickly explain. If anyone's here watching, can they just let me know that they can hear me okay? If they can just comment on the chat, that would be grand, and we can crack on, sort of thing, and I can explain this, and then we can hi Ian. Oh great, so super, that's fine. Okay, so hi Joe. Right, here's how this is working. Okay, so I'm using the audio fuse, but you don't need to use an audio fuse if you've got a MIDI interface. Any audio MIDI interface and a USB hub will work fine. So this is how this is set up, right? MIDI out from the audio fuse into MIDI in on the Volca drum, okay? And then here in the tempo section of AUM, you go down to these three little dots and you see it says send MIDI clock, and it's enabled, and it's sending from the audio fuse. So this is the audio fuse is AUM is sending its MIDI clock into the audio fuse, and from the audio fuse it's sending it into the MIDI in on the Volca drum. Right, so that's how you set it up. So if you want to sequence another synth or something via MIDI, all you need to do is use a MIDI interface, audio MIDI. Most of them have got MIDI now as well, so you can use them like that and just send the MIDI out from the audio fuse, but make sure you set the output for the MIDI inside AUM. So again, all you need to do is go to send MIDI clock. It's enabled and it's going to the audio fuse. You can only have like one instance of it at a time, so I can't send MIDI clock everywhere, but it doesn't really matter. So moving along, the MicroFreak is in USB 2. So USB is coming out of the MicroFreak and going into the audio fuse, because the audio fuse is a USB interface as well. It's got 3 USB ports on it, but any USB port would work, multi-port. And then the output from the MicroFreak is going into channel 2 here, USB 2 on the audio fuse. Then we have a synth master player that's doing something very cool. Okay. Then we have the USB 3, which is the MicroBrute. So there's a USB cable going out of the MicroBrute into the audio fuse again, because you have 3 USB ports on the audio fuse. Then the output from the MicroFreak is going into one of the channels at the back here, whereas also is the Volca drum is going into one of the channels here, 3 or 4. I can't remember which one it was actually. 4. So 4 is the Volca drum, 2 is the MicroFreak, USB 3 is going into this. Right, so all I need to do to set this off, and Riffer is playing the MicroFreak and also Synth Master Player. So Riffer 1, Riffer 1, that's the MicroFreak. Riffer 2, that's Synth Master Player. And you just set them up as you would any other Riffer. You know, if you're not sure, that I did a, hi Jamie, I did a thing on it, a tutorial. And then we have the MicroBrute being played by Arturia, and I've got this set a harmonic minor. The root note is F. The clock is 1/4. The transpose is 12 down. Oh, you can't see that, can you? Hang on a sec. Let me see if I can dull it all down a bit for you so you can see what's going on. See this now. Yeah, they're the settings for this. But like I said, as long as your key and scale is set the same, so the same in Arturia as it is in Riffer or anything else you want to play, you won't be a million miles away. So like, whereas there are no iPad apps actually playing the Volca drum is playing itself. We're sending MIDI clock out of AUM to control Volca drum. Okay, and then we're sending MIDI out from this to control the MicroFreak and also the MicroBrute. Now this project, this started off this morning as me just syncing up the Volca drum with the MicroFreak, which I will do another tutorial on, and just using the sync cable, which worked great. It was dead quick. So I thought, well, let's take it a step further. Let's see what else we can do using the audio fuse. But like I said, you do not need an audio fuse. You can, and if you've got an audio interface with MIDI in it, MIDI in and out, that's fine. And then if you've got a USB hub, powered USB hub, you can use that to connect the various USB stuff into your iPad as well. Okay, so I'm gonna close down the microphone, and we're just gonna have we'll have a bit of a jam. Hope you were all okay, and yeah, let's rock and roll. So as soon as I press play now, it's gonna switch on the Volca drum. So I mean, if you spend a long time building up something, if you did it in something like what's it called, MIDI mixer, you could Altefa, you could have all that kind of stuff automate itself, you know, which is really cool. So you can actually start off the drum on its own, or with AUM. Now you're hearing the synths being played because of the audio fuse. The audio fuse, it works as a mixer as well as a audio interface, audio MIDI interface and USB interface. So at the moment I've got it on half and half, so you can hear my microphone. My microphone is not doing anything to do with the iPad, it's just going into the audio fuse. So if I turn this down to computer, my voice will quietly eventually just disappear, and then all you would hear then is what's going on inside AUM, for instance. If I bring it back in, you'll hear the synths because they're going because they're generating audio. They're going into the audio fuse. The audio fuse is working as a mixer. So you just need to mix between the computer or your DAW, if you like, and the direct mix here, which is one of the great things about the audio fuse. It's really good, although they're really expensive. So we could change a few things around, I guess. Let's change the sound on this. So if we solo this one and just hit play. You could get the stuff to constantly evolve by setting up Riffer to do constant changes. So yeah. Oh. Cool beans. And of course, all the audio is going in through the iPad. So, like I said, you can apply as many effects and stuff as you like. Do you know what I mean? So, basically, that's it, really. There's nothing... Don't know what's happened to me, Synth Master. Let's see if we can find out what happened to Synth Master, shall we? So I know Synth Master is going to Riffer. I do something with Riffer number 2 here. Don't know. Okay, so let's save this session. Yes. Let's clear this session and set something simple up. So we're going to start with 3, and at the moment it's all going to USB. So I know that, let's see, the Volca is going into, where is it, 3 or 4. So let's see. Let me just take this out. Number 4. And AUM has remembered the send MIDI clock is enabled, and it should be going to the audio fuse. Super. You'll hear it, like I said, because we're going through this first, but actually, let's show you how you sync the Volca drum up just with this. Let me just move that out of the way. We'll still send the audio through because we want to be maybe affecting stuff. So on this one, which is definitely going into channel 2, audio extension, hardware input number 2, and we can see. So now we've got we can delete this channel now, remove. So we're only dealing with those two channels, and we're only using them for audio. So let's just move it out the way so you can see what else I'm going to do now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect the MIDI from the back of the audio fuse, and so now nothing will happen when I press play. Right, so we're only using audio now. We're only using audio, and so there's a couple of things that you need to set up. First of all, you need one of these anyway, a stereo. Oh God, cables everywhere. Life is cables. You need a stereo auxiliary cable, or just a cable, and then we want to go sync in. Don't go sync out because it confuses the MicroBrute. So we'll sync in, and then on the back of the MicroBrute. Now you can do this with MIDI, but it's easier to do it with sync, because then you have to go in and mess around with the MIDI channels to stop them being fired by the MicroFreak. So this wants to go into I don't know if you can see, is it clock? This wants to go to clock out, and we're sending clock. We want to be sending clock pulses out in this. The important thing to remember now is you need to go into your utility settings on the actual MicroFreak, and you want to be looking for sync. I know you can't see that, but you want to be looking for sync and utility. Press this, and then you want to be going with source, and you want the source to be internal. So you can have them. You can have the sync source. This is this clock in and out. Set to internal, USB, MIDI, or clock, or auto. Have it set on internal. This internal clock to be controlling the Volca. The other important thing is the clock. Now I don't know if you can see, but you want to set your clock on 2 pulses per quarter, 2 ppq. 2 ppq. Otherwise, this will run super fast, and this will just be running at, say it was 100 bpm, that will run like twice the speed or something. So set it on 2 ppq, so internal and 2 ppq, and hopefully now if we engage an arpeggiator, nothing happens whatsoever. Brilliant. Right, now let me just see. I'll get it out of this. Let me make sync as internal. Now, I had this. Is it the right cable? Yeah. Just let me check. I've got it in the right blinking slot. I had this working perfectly earlier. Right. Okay. I don't think it's got anything to do with the USB. So this should be actually fine. This should just work now. So I don't know why it's actually not working. See, it's sending clock. Getting a proper beat. Right, so now it appears to be working okay. Pressing right. Press, make sure play is engaged, and then you can use your ARP. And of course, because we're still running the audio through the iPad as well, we can apply effects if we wanted to now in here. What works well is if you find one that's a sequence, or you obviously program your own sequence. So let's record a sequence. Let's go into shift sequence, and let's record. Is it record? Let's record a pattern. Okay, so now we can just press play. I'm going to record that sequence again, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just mute some of the drums on here. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to go to edit step, and I'm going to put 4 on the floor for this one. So, and then we record that sequence. So shift sequence record. Stop it, you fool. I'm going to record the sequence. Again for the 3rd time. So record. So now we can just play that. Oh, you idiot. I don't know why the glide switching itself back on. No patterning in AC. Super. So there you go. You could just do it with the arpeggiator as well. Oh, there's another cool thing. We can change, apart from the fact that we can change the time, the tempo, we can also change the time division for this. So there you go. So at the beginning of the video, you saw how we can set it up with AUM. Where AUM basically just controls the clock of the Volca drum. So you can just set it off to do its own thing, whilst you can get other stuff to control this. And then we just kind of use the iPad as listening to the audio and having just the Volca drum and the MicroFreak synced together so that they play together. So that was going with clock out to sync in, and making sure that the utility settings are correct. So 2 PPQ and internal for the clock settings and the sync on there. Otherwise it won't work. It will work, but this will be completely the wrong speed. Which we could probably demonstrate if we switch to that. So I've got play hold. So if I set the PPQ, the pulses per quarter, too fast, if I go into utility now and go down to my sync menu here, sync, and enter that, and then go to clock. So I've got 2 PPQ, 1 step, 2 PPQ, or 24 to 48. So let's just put this on 24, shall we? And see what happens to the Volca when we start it. You don't want that, and I think sometimes it gets a bit confusing because you have to change the pulse settings for the sync. So the clock, so even going faster than that to 48 PPQ, the Volca will deal with it. It's just that it'll just sound insane. Unless that's something you want, of course. And then let's go to the other extreme. Let's go clock down. So there's 48. We want 2. What happens if we go to 1 step? Okay, so this is going to be very slow now, which might be really nice. You really want it on 2 PPQ, so on the clock, not the settings. Sync, clock, 2 PPQ, and then you should be actually fine. Can't do anything with the Volca drum now because it's all controlled by this. So there you go, guys. I hope you found some of it useful and some of it entertaining as well. I'm going to let you say ta-ra to each other for a few minutes. Thank you ever so much for joining us this afternoon. I wasn't going to stream this afternoon. I was going to do one tonight. But like I said, I was messing around with this and I thought, well, you know what, I might as well. Yeah, you are, Jade, right late. I might as well show you what I've been doing and what I'm messing around with, because it could be useful to some people wanting to sync stuff up, you know, or send clock out and things as well, which is always a novel thing to do as well. So you could send MIDI clock out to control it, anything you like, really. So yeah, I think I'm being interviewed by Jade this week sometime, I think on Thursday. Indeed. Yeah, so that's it. Where are we gone? Yeah. I've got a faulty cable. So anyway, hi Colin. I hope you did find some of this useful. We cover quite a few bits and pieces: how to send clock out of AUM, how to send clock in, obviously, how to control your other synths with apps from AUM. And then completely independently, just using AUM as a audio source, so you could add effects and stuff. How to sync up the Volca drum with the MicroFreak and set the correct PPQ settings in the clock, in the sync settings inside the menu. Anyway, there you go. I'll let you say ta-ra to each other for a few minutes. Bless you all. I will see you guys later. Don't know what we'll be doing tonight? You never know. See you later. Something easy that's not going to tax me brain. See you later. Ta-ra.